might be the opposite card in this match.
Probably too busy playing in the Pro Tour to go to F.
All right. Grand Prix Baltimore. This is round 8.
I don't think we have that.
I am Sheldon Menery alongside Nate Price. We are watching Miles Houseman on your left and Paolo Vito Rosa on your right.
I prefer if you introduce me as Nate the Hammer Price.
Nate the Hammer Price. From Hammerville, Indiana.
This is true. We prefer to call ourselves Hammerville, USA.
Hammerville, USA.
Yeah.
We are. It's the real America out there.
Oh, you have no idea. It's the Wild West. The Wild Midwest.
This is the Wild Midwest.
Okay. Well,
so, Miles Houseman, I'm guessing might be a local player. There's a list over to your left somewhere of who had buys. Maybe we'll see how many.
Hello, G-Man.
oh my goodness, there are so many papers.
There are papers.
Here we go. Houseman, how many buys did you have coming into this event, sir?
Are they good to begin?
2.
2 buys. PV, of course, had 3.
Can't imagine how he got those.
Okay.
Probably want to try.
Yeah, he played in a grinder last night.
Yeah.
Looks like Paolo's hand is full of land, which is, I think, okay by him in this match. Obviously, he doesn't know what Miles is playing just yet.
Yeah.
But a handful of land is not awful.
That's what his deck wants to do. Miles is looking at a Day of Judgment in his hand, which is
probably going to stay there a while.
Yeah, it might as well be a mulligan at this point. But at the same time, the rest of his hand looks pretty reasonable. He does have a Gideon draw. I think I might have seen it.
Oop.
Pay no attention to the Day of Judgment you see behind the curtain. Alright. Let's see, we saw a fairly similar match earlier in the day today when Ali Antrazi took his black, white, blue Planeswalker deck into the fray. This game's going to come down to a lot of card drawing, a lot of doing very little, sifting through the deck until the optimal time to strike, which is strange because that's very different from the way the black-blue controlled mirror matchup goes, where it really comes down to players. There is a lot of card drawing, but the time to strike is always, since your method of control or method of kill is the Nephilia Drownyard. So it is interesting to note Paolo's choice of kill condition as far as creatures go. He's running the Grave Titans as opposed to the Consecrated Sphinx, which gives him a little bit more of a play a creature punch.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't. He's got an alternate plan. He doesn't just have to go on the Drownyard plan.
Yeah. Although interestingly enough, I mean, I think one of the main reasons that Titan is like one of the main reasons to choose Titan over the opposite choice is simply because he's just better against some of the aggressive decks. Like getting to have 3 creatures for the price of 1. You've seen how good, Midnight Haunting is at staving off creatures, but at the same time, 6 mana is a lot to pay for that. So the aggressive decks, by the time he gets that out, he might be in some big trouble.
Yeah, Wormcoil Engine might be a better choice if that's really the direction you're headed.
Right.
So we see PV with the Ratchet Bomb.
Miles Houseman is thinking about Sorin and decides that the Lord of Innistrad is going to come into play. PV doesn't mind it, and the vampires begin to come down.
I'm not sure who that token is.
I have no idea.
That's not a Rashad Miller token.
Looks like
is
a cross between Rashad Miller and Bill Belichick. Nice hoodie. I'm actually curious who that is. We'll find out later. Alright, and the little vampires have to start swinging. I mean, just as expected, we talked about this before the match. He's landed a permanent that is going to just continue to make more creatures, so we'll see if that Sorin ends up creating a problem. No. Not fearing decking as a source of death, Paolo decides to start trying to quote-unquote draw some cards with Nephilia Drownyard. Oh, unfortunately, it hits a Curse of Death's Hold. Is that what that is?
Yep.
Could have been useful in this situation.
Could have been pretty useful.
But you can't think of it that way.
He's going to take care of one of them.
I'm just going to sit back and ride Soren.
You can go.
I mean,
Yeah, there really doesn't seem to be any reason to not.
yeah. I think you ride him until you get to the point, like you just start making 1/1s until the turn before Paolo's going to be able to, bomb kills planeswalkers, right?
Right.
So you have to wait till he gets ready to blow him up and then put out your emblem. Keep the beat down. Which would have to be this turn, actually. So
Yep.
let's see if he does that instead of making 1/1.
Paolo doing some deep reading on Soren.
Down.
Yep, there it goes. Make an emblem.
It's like Miles has come. Oh, I thought he looked like he'd come loaded for bear with the emblem.
Attack for 4.
Too much credit. Probably had it
So
at
you go
one
to
point.
14 and I make 26.
Surprised me so much when I opened one of those
Yeah.
Three cards.
All right, and attacking for 4 now. It's going to take large chunks. We've seen how attacking for 4 can really do a black-blue player in our mirror matchup earlier.
Yep.
Go ahead.
The best part is, at the very back end of all of this, he still has 2 copies of Consecrated Sphinx in his hand. So he will have additional threats to fill the void should Paolo find a way to take care of those. Alright, Snapcaster Mage in his hand now. He's been giving himself a little bit of food, so... Ooh, Liliana as well. Does not seem like an incredibly good idea to put her into play. With the Ratchet Bomb still stuck on 3.
I'm at 2.
Give yourself
Second emblem.
Second emblem.
Attack for 6.
There's a swing for 6.
So you're 8.
You know, I'm trying to read Paolo's body language, and it doesn't seem like he's at 8.
Paolo is one of the hardest players to read. Like that's the look on his face when he's up 32 to 8, the
Right.
same as when he's down 32 to 8. Always looks like he's constantly in thought.
Houseman played out something to the side that we have lost off camera.
Yes. Mana there.
Oh, it's Liliana.
Yeah. Pick your poison, I guess.
Go.
Dissipate's gonna take care of that. Fair. Return. Paolo will choose to stock himself a little more. And that's Soren killing power right there. He still needs to black some Zenith for 1 relatively soon. Boom. Wow.
There it is.
Ask and you shall receive.
Well, he's got to think about what, his opponent's playing blue, so, Miles could be sitting on Mana Leak, he could be sitting on Dissipate,
Yeah. Could be sitting on the gate if we want to go that far.
or he could be sitting on the gate.
Yep. Alright, what does he have? It's 2 dead vampires. It's about to be a 3rd, actually. Assuming I read the situation properly. Paolo's had about enough of the incessant vampire making. Yeah. Alright, and the Lord of Innistrad is now the Lord of the Graveyard. Alright, let's see.
Interestingly enough, shot of Miles Houseman. Mom obviously signed a waiver for him to be able to play today.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Probably a 23, 24-year-old guy.
Is he?
No. I have no idea.
Thought you knew something I didn't.
No.
All right, here's the thing. That Consecrated Sphinx would battle for 6.
Yes. Yeah. You do realize that had I been the one that said I thought you knew something that I didn't know, your response would have been, there are many things.
Yes.
I know that you don't know.
The gross tonnage thereof.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's see. Hausman is
He's gonna try to force through that second Sphinx.
this time he's got the mana to at least fight back should he provide himself the opportunity. But one of the situations where it may have actually been better for him to just sit. I mean, Paolo is incrementally going to be gaining an advantage every turn.
Well, I mean, he's going to start drown yarding Miles now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he just do himself again.
All right. He's got an alchemy in his graveyard now. I think he's content to move forward.
He's down to 3 cards, which could be significant. Miles, it looks like, has a grip full.
Haunting, it is true. That's pretty powerful right now. Yeah, like
Lingering Souls. But.
Yeah, sorry, Lingering Souls. The thing is, like, knowing that he's got cards like that in his deck and he's not in any real immediate danger of dying, I don't know if it's necessarily important for him to play those cards.
Well, he can't sit and wait on Paolo to start ground yarding it.
True, but he doesn't need to. I mean, like, I guess maybe waiting until he has 9 mana and can nullify the mana leaks. It's not going to be an incredibly long wait. I just didn't like he wasn't immediately pressed to play Essex. But I mean, that right there, that is 6 points of damage that Paolo needs to find he needs to have a ratchet bomb in his hand, hopefully, for him. Yes. So, I mean, he has an immediate answer to the tokens. Round 1. Tokens round 2 is
right, and he's got a
curse in his hand.
He's also got to play around. Miles has a full grip.
Yeah.
Miles certainly going to attack first.
So Paolo has a Curse of Death's hold in his hand. He does have his second one.
And I gain 6? No. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is nothing.
He's taking it?
Yeah. He wants to see what Miles is going to do this turn. I mean, at this point, he gets an opportunity to flash that back. He's got the curse in his hand, so I think he has a Snapcaster Mage. So
he is one cool character.
Yes.
PV is one really, really cool character.
He's just... We've emphasized over and over again the importance of patience, and PV is one of the most patient players. Like, he understands 2 life, 8 life, it's all the same to me. Like,
this is where if Miles has any counter magic in his hand, we're obviously going to have the battle here.
It looks like he's going hunting for some. Yeah, I mean, this is the preferred method of dealing with those, because there's no point in blowing the Ratchet Bomb to kill those 2 when there's just going to be 2 more following it. That Ratchet Bomb was...
Right.
It was a hesitation move on Paolo's part. It's like, maybe you shouldn't play a Planeswalker this turn so that I, know where I need to go.
Right.
But also, I mean, it's possible he's just trying to draw out a counterspell for the
Curse of Death's Hold.
Yeah. And at this point, now is the time to play the Curse. Alright, so think twice, and another Lingering Souls hits the bin, but now he's locked down under a Curse of Death's hold. And looks like Karn Liberated is his only method of getting out from underneath that. So he bolted his Consecrated Sphinx.
I think he just drew it.
Oh wow, that's gonna.
Or is that still the Day of Judgment? He fanned his hand a little too fast. For me to see. Oh, there's another Sorin.
Interesting.
Now Paolo is going on the Drown Yard plan to mill Miles. Those 32 life points, not significant.
Yeah. How you like?
Miles going to count Paolo's library.
So it looks like
it's not that big.
I mean, threats that Miles has left that are capable of winning him the game through this. He has a Gideon Jura, 2 Gideon Juras, looks like, that can definitely attack for those last points of damage.
30 cards and 12 cards we get from Rashad Miller in the production booth. I mean, 12 cards feels a little low for PV.
But I mean, 12 cards is one card a turn. 12 turns. I mean, even if he tosses in an extra one here or there.
It's pretty good
still,
math right there, State.
Thank you. The difference is Houseman sitting on the 30, like he's drawn 4 a turn effectively, so
Right.
he's got an 8. And if he needs to try to search for an answer, oh, there goes one of the Gideons. If he wants to search for an answer, it is going to cost him. 12 cards is plenty. 12 cards, 2 life, who cares?
Right.
I mean, resource management is just so important in control matchups.
Nope.
Late. Curious what that is drawn on his lands, too. I'm going to say it's Emrakul. Emrakul's everywhere.
Not an EDH.
Oh!
Who took care of that guy? I did.
I'm not going to even hazard a guess. So, yeah.
All right, so obviously that was the Day of Judgment that I saw in his hand. That was the Day of Judgment, not the Karn.
I love that Houseman is just ticking his Sorin up and up and up. Nothing's generated except for counters, but getting his way there.
He's getting his way there.
End of the rope. I would be highly surprised if I was able to find anything else.
Nope.
There it is.
No answer. So game 1 to Paulo Rosa versus Miles Houseman.
Take a look at these sideboards.
Bloodline Keeper worth anything to Paulo in this match?
I'm going to say, I would imagine, yeah. I mean, it seems like Houseman is probably going to bring out his max removal. There's no point for it. Like, he might leave in ARAF just in case, because it can always flip it and, you know, bring it back with a Snapcaster. But, I mean, the other two are probably going to go away. I don't know. Like, knowing that his opponent's got Gideon Jura also, he might just choose not to. I mean, I don't know if Gideon goes anywhere. He's still a 6'6" body. What does he have to bring in? He's definitely going to bring in. Houseman will bring in 9 spell bombs.
Batterskull seems pretty saucy.
I agree completely. Geist is Saint Trapped as well.
Yeah. I mean, Geist and Batterskull together is not an awful plan for him.
No, that definitely makes people cry.
I imagine Powell might go for the 2 extra ground yards. Yeah. I think he's, Grave Titan seems meh.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Titan is just, he's better in different matchups. This isn't one of them. The ground yard is definitely his preferred method. Plus, I'm pretty sure he knows, like, from testing and just, reading. The deck his opponent is playing is more than likely not going to be playing Ghost Quarters or any additional ways to deal with it. So it seems like a reliable plan. It's really like, I'm pretty sure I heard Steve mention that earlier. It's just really hard to cram those into a deck when you're already diluting your mana base enough. It's just way too painful. The Negate's definitely going to come in. An extra Dissipate's definitely going to come in. He needs to force those through. I mean, Image does nothing in this matchup. Surgical Extraction's probably going to come in. So.
What do you think about Miles and Spellbombs?
Spellbomb's definitely coming. Like, I mean, I'd imagine at this point he's bringing in Nile Spellbombs, 2 Spellbombs, a Batterskull, and 3 Geists, taking out 2 Day of Judgments, and the 3 Curse of Death's holds. I get 1 more card to pull out. I will take. I choose you, go for the throat.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah, that keeps him at 1 go for the throat and 1 Day of Judgments, just in case. He does have 2 Tragic Slips, but I just think I'd kind of rather keep Tragic Slip and go for the throat. I mean, I guess there's no reason to say that. I mean, he's got a bunch of removal spells that he can pull out, and it's likely that Paolo's just going with the Millions currently.
Yeah, I can't see any way for him to go now. I mean, obviously, again, in that game within a game.
Yeah. We saw an amazing turn of events earlier today when Turtenwald just went. Turn 2, what could I do here? How about a 2?
I'm going to beat you with a Snapcaster.
It's really funny because I was like, after that match, I went to talk to Steve, and I'm like, yeah, the match worked out really well. It was kind of cool to see that their match, Owen just went beat down, went 2-1 on turn 2, 2-1 on turn 3. He just goes, what 2-1? I'm like, Snapcaster match. He just started laughing. Why did I think of that? So, yeah, this is definitely a matchup between the two marquee control matches in the format right now. It's funny because you look at them, one is a black-blue control deck and one is a black-blue-white control deck. You think maybe they're just variations on a theme, and they are incredibly different at their application of the same strategy. And Paolo's deck runs much more like a black-blue millstone deck from Once Upon a Time.
Right.
I mean,
they were more black and white.
Originally, right?
White blue.
Yeah. I mean, HOUSMAN's deck, on the other hand, I mean, it is built around the Planeswalkers in the deck. It plans on winning through ways that do not involve milling their opponents. It's going to win either through attacking or through some sort of ultimate shenanigans.
Right.
That's what's going to happen with his deck. And you don't see that from Paolo's decks. They do completely different things, despite the fact that, I mean, the only real difference between the bases for them is, HOUSMAN is running some white cards.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the difference in the world.
See, on the other table, the other feature match table, Charles Kindy, Greg Relitz, battling at it.
Both attempting to go 8-0, have a fight at staying undefeated. All right, we've reached 3 mana.
I was just gonna say, is he gonna try to force that through?
Go for it.
Answer is yes. Steve and I talked earlier about some players get a little paralyzed when their opponent is playing blue because, well, I can't cast anything because they might have a counterspell.
Yeah.
Well, at a certain point, you've got to get the counterspells out of their hand.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, plus you test the waters. Like, if you want to do something on future turns, the only reason I think he played that is because he had the second Lily on his hand. But if you want to play something, you want to play something in the next couple of turns, you have to test the waters and see if your opponent's got something and make him have it. It is very, very, very easy to fall into the too scared to play something well. I mean, I definitely, through a large portion of my Magic career, did the exact same thing. Just like, I mean, I'd been on the other side so much that I knew he's always got it. But never put 2 and 2 together where, I've got it now. Like, there are 2 ways to make me not have it. Like, you either play something and force me to use it, or, play something much later on that you actually want to resolve. And by that point,
there's the dice. That's a pretty spicy card against Paolo.
Yeah, I do find it unlikely that Paolo would have taken out. I mean, he might have taken out one of his Black Sun Zenith. I don't think he would have gone down to 1 or less than that, knowing that Sorin is still exactly just far too common a.
Paolo going into the tank a little bit here early on. Flash in another one.
Which you'll note he chooses to pay for, leaving 1 mana available. Except for he gets.
It looks like he's on a. It looks like he already knows what he's getting. There wasn't. Let me look through and figure this out.
Liliana, sorry, you can't have her.
Yeah. Oh, Liliana was the only card in his graveyard.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It makes it easy to make the decision.
It makes it easy to make the decision.
Interesting. We see 2 copies of Go for the Throat in HOUSMAN's hand. So maybe he brought out the Tragic Slips instead of doing the 1-1 route. I suppose it's probably a better situation since getting the Morbid and having the Morbid actually mean something less likely against the Black Blue control deck. Is this the first time you've seen Blue Sun Zenith cast this weekend?
It is.
Make mention of it all the time. But, Hausman paid 5 mana to draw 2 cards. Ooh, and they were 2 reasonably good ones, actually.
Yeah, that spell bomb might come up pretty big.
Geist the Saint Traft and his special lady went and had a little talk with Paolo there.
You're up.
I think Hausman is probably a little bit nervous right now.
Yeah.
Tap lands are getting spun, that kind of stuff. I mean, I get nervous drafting after the hours with Paolo, so like, playing against him in a feature match and we're both undefeated.
Well, you see, here's what I would figure if it's me in there. I got nothing to lose.
Oh, well,
I'm David in this match, and the only thing I can do is take down Goliath.
that's definitely true, but I mean, you try convincing your automatic response that like, that is a very good point, though. I mean, that if you lose, you lost to PV. You can tell your friends, yeah, it's cool, I lost to Paolo. You win. You can tell your friends,
I beat PV.
I beat Paolo.
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Me beat PV.
Alright, so Miles Hausman's graveyard is cleared. Paolo's sitting at 8, and he is looking if that. Okay. The 8 mana or 8 damage that will be coming through doesn't actually happen. He chose not to attack with Geist of Saint Traft, which would have had to trade with that.
Which he's going to do now, because he likes his.
Is he going to replay one?
He likes his copy in his hand.
Yep.
But there was a mana leak back there for it.
Running with a 5 mana is not particularly amazing when you're holding on to 2/6 drops and.
PV filling up his own graveyard.
Is that a Day of Judgment? Is that what the card is?
Spellbomb slowed him down a little bit, but not too terribly much.
He's only at least one Dissipate hand too, so even after Hausman gets going here, like, it's going to be...
Yeah,
no thank you, sir. So Dissipate, actually Dissipate, go for the throat, and a Grave Titan. So Grave Titans did stay in.
Alright, some confusion about whether the Sphinx is on the stack or not.
And apparently it was deemed that it was, so Paolo had to go for the throat in response to his own think twice.
Whoa! Grave Titan stayed in.
Yep. Hey buddy, how are you doing? Got a couple 2/2s for me? Yeah, I'm actually curious about that. And there goes the other threat. At this point, I don't think Hausman's got anything.
Well, he's... Oh, PV didn't come prepared?
I'm pretty sure that there are even Rashad tokens hanging down there. And at this point in the day, if anybody looks like a zombie, it's Rashad. He's been working hard. Bringing you this quality, high-class entertainment here. Oh, what happened? It's true.
It is true. All right, Paolo looks like he's on the attack plan.
Celestial Purge, that's what that was. Interesting sideboard choice.
Hausman with a couple of lingering souls and flashes it back.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that's not an interesting sideboard choice. That makes perfect sense. I don't know why I didn't even think about getting rid
All right,
of the
Paolo
curse.
flashes in the Black Sun Zenith and gets the hand from Miles Hausman. So, Paolo Vito Damo de Rosa, 2-0 versus Miles Hausman.
Because you already double leaked my other spell, so like
attempting to take his undefeated
putting you on 3 leaks, I felt like it was
day 2.
Hausman, of course, has just lost his first.